I'd known her for 12 years. Some of you have known her for far, far longer. But you know, you see somebody that often, and they kind of become family, even if they're not. So yeah, December and leading to now has been very, very difficult, because she was. A story pops to mind where, and this is maybe a year ago, where I had an opportunity, a professional opportunity come up, and I've been here for 12 years. Professional opportunity came up for me that would have taken me out of state for 3 months. Like out of state, I would have been gone. I would not have been available here. And I think Terry would admit that I'm kind of an integral part of the things that go on here. So it would have been a burden, I think, for everybody involved to not have one of their key guys on. And so I was, you know, I had the thing in my stomach where, God, how do I tell him? What do I do? Because it was a big deal. It would have panned out to be something really amazing. But I was really scared to bring it to him, because I didn't know how that would go over, you know. And I took him aside and set him down, and they seemed like they were terrified, like I was about to tell them that like something bad was going down, you know. And I told her, I said, look, there's this opportunity for me to lead the state for a while, and I told her what it was, national TV and this whole thing. And she didn't even skip a beat. She took my hand and she said, "You do it, go." And I was like, wow. And I think it really speaks volumes of the kind of person that she was, that no matter who we were, Tory always wanted us to take the steps to be the best that we could be, no matter what. No matter what. Even if it deeply inconvenienced she and Terry and the business that we built, it was her, first and foremost, it was about the other people. It was always about you guys. It was always about the family that they had built here, and the relationships that had been built over 30 plus years of doing this. And before that, even before that, I mean, they have long lasting friendships with these people that they've cultivated over the years, and it's I'll never forget that, because I was so terrified, and she instantly set me at ease. Like I wasn't scared anymore, and I was scared to leave. I've never really left, certainly to do something so big, because it would have been a life altering thing. And I miss her more than I ever thought I would. I obviously, you never expect that she wasn't sick or anything, so it was very sudden. And what have we learned? Kiss the people that you love. Tell them you love them, because they can be gone quick, and you won't ever get the chance to thank them for the opportunities that they give and the love that they give you. And so, that said, I miss you, Tory, and this night is about her and sharing thoughts and feelings. Anybody who wants to get up here and just say a few quick words, no pressure. I'm sure Terry would appreciate it. It's been a long couple of months for him, and pretty much for anybody who knew Tory. So that said, I guess I turn it over to John. John, come on up.
Tory was one who was pretty much one in a million. Maybe even more than that, but she was one that had a servant heart. And a servant heart is one, as Todd said, wants the best for everyone. She didn't care who you were, what you had, what you didn't have. She was your friend regardless. And also, Terry, her husband, his soulmate, not only his wife of a very long time, but one that complimented Terry. and Terry done the same for her. All I can say is that I can see Tory. I even feel Tory's with us right now in this room. She's free. She is watching, first and foremost, over her husband Terry and all of her immediate family, as well as every single person that she touched while she was here. Other than that, all I can say is she was an awesome woman.
These guys here, him and Tory, gave me a job out front on the weekends doing Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Thor. There's a few of them up there. Annoying the hell out of traffic, and I'm good at that. So anyhow, my time with my son was pretty much on the weekends, and it's like I was getting cut into on it. And Tory, at the blink of an eye, goes, "Don't worry about it," because he was just a little tiny little popcorn fart at the time. You know, she goes, "Don't worry about him. I got him." She kept him busy coloring and whatnot, running around the store, taking care of the biz while I'm out there annoying the traffic and sweating it out to come in and check, and you know, God love her for it. And there's actually a picture in here where she's with the Predator guy. That was during one of the big sales that we had. And on occasion, being out front there, I would see many different things going on out there.
There it is.
There, that's the one. Yeah, me over there on the side. And occasionally, there would be vehicles go by, and women would decide, "Hey, Batman, you need to see these." And I told him and Tory about it, and she's like, "No way, no way, no way." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, it happens." So there's one day we were having a sale out front, and I believe it was myself doing Batman. I think Carl was doing Robin. We had Indiana Jones, and his daughter was doing Princess Leia, and a couple other people out there. And Tory comes down to check on us, going, "Anybody need water or anything?" About the time the van goes by, and the side door opens up, and there's three girls, "Woo!" And Tory turns around, she goes, "Wow, you weren't lying, were you?" And I'm like, "No." And without even a hesitation, she goes, "I should have flashed him back," and then walked off. I'm like, "Really?" But that's the way Tory was. And then again, over the years, I don't think I ever once saw her blow a fuse. Very low key. And when she did get mad, she had a very slow, subtle way. I've seen her give you the look a few times, that wait till you get home kind of thing. I don't know if that was good or bad, but you know, neither here nor there. But again, like John.
I'm only here to say good things.
Hey. But like John and Todd said, you know, we miss her greatly because, again, to her, everybody was family. I don't care if you had $2 or $2,000 walking in that front door. There were many times I come running in the door to go get dressed and everything else, and somebody's following me in, and you know, whether she's known him or not, "Hey, you want a cup of coffee, you want a donut, whatever." That's just the way she was. She took care of everybody. She was
Somebody that you love, that she loved you, buddy.
That's right. She was everybody's mom. So, in a way, this was Big Daddy, and she was kind of hit girl, not in the sense, you know, she whipped ass or anything, but she was a hit with everybody. Whether you knew her or not, instantly people loved her.
Yeah,
And Mr. Greatly.
the first time I ever saw her, I'm going to say, when we started our business in 1980, I'm going to say 1978, I was a dad with 3 little boys. My boys at that time were 6, 4, and 1.5 years old. And I had no mom for my little buddies. So I took them to the drive-in theater. And most of y'all know what that is. Some people might not. And at the drive-in theater, I'd get there a little early, so I'd take the little guys out there and throw the football to them. And that's how I met Tortise. I call her Tortises because I just do. I don't know why, I just do. Always have. And from her view, she told me, she said, that she saw me with these little boys and she wondered if I had a woman. And then she said that she saw the first little guy go out and I threw the football to him and he caught it and he ran back and tossed it back to me. And then the next one went out and I threw it to him and he caught it too and brought it back to me. Now the little tyke, being 1.5 years old, little Josh, he was cool and he was going to try to make it work. But of course when the ball hit him, it knocked him down. And you know, he was ball almost as big as him. But Tory must have liked that because I noticed that she kept walking by my car. She had her daughter with her and she was not married as well, and her daughter's friend. And I noticed her the first time she walked by my car. I remember looking at her and saying, well, I'm just going to say that I liked her, right? I'll tell you what I was thinking, because I really can't remember exactly. It's probably good, you know. But at any rate, I think after the 4th time, I realized, because she'd walk by real slow and really look at me, and I thought it was, I should be obligated to at least go up there and talk to this young lady. I mean, come on, you know. I kind of liked the way she looked and everything, and what the heck. So I went and I did talk to her. And we were real close to a Steak and Shake, so I said, well, let's just go over there to the Steak and Shake. So she pulled up beside me, and we were in the places where they bring the food out to you, see. And I was like changing little Josh in the front seat and trying to talk over at her in her car. And I managed to get a date with her the next evening. And I did. I went and picked her up, and I took her out to this restaurant, and all of a sudden we noticed that there was nobody there but us. I mean, nobody. And it was real late. And we said, oh, we are so sorry. They'd been closed for like an hour, but nobody wanted to bother us. So I said, well, come on, Tory. I says, I'll take you back and I'll show you my cool apartment, because I did have a cool apartment. Well, I took her to my apartment 35 years ago. That next morning we went and picked up Tory's clothes and we brought them back to my apartment, and we were together for 35 years. It was honestly, if you've ever heard of a thing called love at first sight, she loved me at first sight and I was liking her a lot, but she was really liking me, and she made it obvious to me. And my kind of love was one that kept growing, and of course hers too, but she was such a loving person for all those years that I know what it's like to be loved. And if you never have been, well, I'm lucky enough to have had that. That was pretty darn good. 35 years, I don't recall her ever doing anything to make me jealous, do anything to hurt my feelings. Can you imagine that? 35 years of somebody asking you something like, would you like a cup of coffee, sweetheart? Or, what would you like for dinner, because you're cooking, you know, or something like that. No. But so I was lucky enough to have met her like that. And then we were struggling with 4 little ones, and I didn't have no money. I mean, it's always been like that for me and Tory. But we did have heart, and we heard of this job at New Smyrna Beach. So we headed out, and my chances of getting a job were about 99.9%, so I knew it was going to probably work out. The only problem is trying to find a place to stay. We did find a place over there, and there was this cool old house. Well, it wasn't cool, pretty ragged looking actually, about 100-year-old at least, wooden house, and it had 2 bedrooms in it and a back porch. And I was looking at it, and my buddy says, well, she only wants $85 a month rent. I says, 85 bucks. And I looked at my wife, I said, baby, I says, this could help us get back on our feet. I said, I could make some money, and, you know, rent won't be a problem. Well, that was okay till the woman came and saw me with all those 4 kids. And she said, what makes you think you can afford to rent, sir? I said, well, I'm a crane operator. I make pretty good money. She said, well, can you afford $200 a month? I said, wait a minute. I thought it was 85 bucks. She says, not for you. Not with all those kids. I can see them now, breaking windows, drawing all over the walls. I said, oh man. So I had to beg this lady to let me rent her 100-year-old house. Finally, she let me rent it. I was there with no heating, no air conditioning for 8 years. Looked like hard times set in, economic depression, whatever the hell you want to call it. I know it was ugly over there, and it was hot too, you know. But that's when I told her, I said, baby, well, because of her dad came, and now her dad had bucks. He owned an insurance company. So he comes into my house and he sits down on my cool couch. I call it the couch, you'd had to have loved this. And I hadn't had it long, but I got it from Goodwill, and it wasn't really too filthy, but he was suited up. See, so he comes in there, he's all suited up, takes his coat off. I'm not used to this, you know, I'm a construction guy. Lays it up on the couch, starts doing his cufflink things and rolling up those sleeves. Next thing you know, he's getting that checkbook out. I'm saying, checkbook? I said, boy, that look good. I mean, it's like I'm a starving dog, you know, and that's food or something. But I was cool about it. And he looks at me and he says, how much money do you need, son? And I mean, he don't really know me. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, well, what do you need? 1,000? 2,000 bucks? Boy, my mind went to racing. I said, wow, 2,000 bucks. I'd feel like a millionaire at that point, you know what I mean? We could have like beans with the hot dogs or hot dogs with the beans or something. You know, so I'm thinking, no, I'm thinking, you know, I don't think that's a good idea for me to take money from you. And he says, well, why not? He says, that boy right there, that little one, he just walked out of his shoe. I saw that. He said, the shoe's too big for his feet. He said, that boy needs shoes. He said, where did you get those shoes? I said, well, I got them at a garage sale for $25. I says, and the boy will grow into them unless we find another pair, maybe at the next garage sale. We can, you know, fit that boy up. I said, but he'll be all right, you know. So I wouldn't let him give me any money, but I did tell him this. I said, you know, I said, since you're a kind of like a really smart guy, and you know, I'm having a tough time because at that point, I'd almost died. I had, right before he came, I had this giant tower crane. I used to run all these giant things, and that thing broke in half way down in the base, and it almost landed on top of me. I was like 5 floors up, and I got knocked off the building, but I was managed to grab a hold and hang on. And as I come up from there, I was deciding that maybe I can't run these big cranes all my life. So that's when her dad gave me the idea, which just is good for anybody. He told me to do what I would like to do for a living. And I said, wow, what could that be? I like comic books and music, right? Well, music's hard. Comic books, it's not as hard, but it's still hard. But I didn't know that, because I went and told Tory, I said, Tory, I said, I tell you what, pal, I says, we're gonna buy some comic books. She said, what? I said, yeah. I says, if I can get 3 boxes of comic books. I said, baby, I'm just telling you, someday we're gonna be rich. I'm just telling you. She said, really? 3 boxes full, huh? I said, yeah, about 3 boxes full. I guess it was about a year later when her mom showed up, right? Mom showed up, and she comes to my back porch. That's where me and Tory lived. We lived on that back porch there. And when the sun come up, you could see when it would hit the walls on the outside of the house, you could see the lines through the walls on the outside would come to the inside, and we could see it looked like stripes, you know. So it wasn't really the best place to stay warm or cool in the summertime or warm in the winter. It was pretty rough there. My baby really had it hard. She stuck with me through all of that. And I guess the thing that put me in high gear was when her mom showed up. her mama wasn't a uppity person or anything. She was a really down-to-earth person, but she loved her daughter. And she kind of didn't like the idea that here I come along, this long-haired, red-haired dude with a big beard, done took her daughter and then hooked her up with 3 new babies. So I guess her mama was thinking, you know, well, this guy's just taking advantage of my daughter, you know. She didn't much care for me much, but to make it worse, here she comes to my house and walking around on that back porch, which of course is my bedroom. I'm thinking, I don't know if this is good or not. Now the reason it was so bad, because at that time, I done went past the 3 boxes. If anybody knows me, if I get onto something, I'm like a hound dog. I'm gonna be the best it's ever been. Nobody's gonna stop me. And I was bad then. So I had this big case built, see? There was more like 30 boxes of comic books in that big case. And when her mama saw that and got a load of that, boy, I was in trouble. She says, well, what in the hell is this? And I said, well, that's my comic books. She says, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm saving them. I said, I'm going to like open a comic book store, something like that. And she said, buddy, if you think you're going to make it in a damn mom and pop bookstore, you got another thing coming. Get rid of this garbage and get some clothes for those kids. I'm sick of it. Well, the kids had clothes by then. I guess she was just using that as because of the shoe back in the day. But at any rate, that did seem to be a problem. And it was hard on my wife to have a guy like me who won't stop and who ain't got nothing. You say, how the hell are you doing something when you ain't got nothing to start with? I said, hell, I don't know. I just keep pecking at it, you know. I'll peck it to damn death sooner or later. So she stuck with me. And then I guess it was about 1980 is when we had started doing that. And then I'm going to say about 1984, or maybe a little later than that, I had this check come through the mail. I said, dude, look at this. You all get them. It was called a tax refund. But this one was like, looked good to me. You know, it was like maybe $1,600. I'm saying, phew, I'm rich, you know. So I took that money and I put it on that dresser. And Tory says, what did you put it up there for? I says, I want to look at it. She says, well, why do you want to look at it? She says, go on and put it in the bank. I said, no. I said, I just want to look at it. And she says, okay. So every day I'd get up and I'd look at it. And there it was. That went on for about a week. And then we were watching this movie, and it was called Field of Dreams. And I fell asleep dreaming that if I build it, they'll come, see? So I woke up that morning, and I jumped up, and I put my feet on the floor, and I was all excited, and I run over there, and I picked the check up. I said, yeah, baby, I know what we're going to do now. And she says, did you figure out what you're going to do with that money? I said, yep. I said, let's go. I said, let's me and you go down to Flea World. She said, what? I said, yep, we're going to go down there and we're going to open up a place down there. So we did. I can't remember how long I was there. I was counting moons. I'd say many moons, but maybe years.
8 years.
Hey, thanks. There you go. 8 years. Good Lord. And, but we were there for 8 years, and always, with us always, we would try to take what we have and make it work. By me being the builder type guy, I would always just add a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Well, finally, we got to figure out a way that we could move to the outside. So once that we got outside and we wound up with 2 little stores, we finally had to consolidate to 1 store. And that was over in Times Square Plaza, where we spent 3 years there. And then we came here. And as you can see in some of those pictures, where we had first moved in here, where we started building and working inside the store. All I can say is that I had a lot of competition. Now, the difference between me and them was, the biggest thing was this. If they didn't carrying this around, they were in trouble before they got started, but it wasn't for me to tell them how to treat and deal with their customers. I just noticed that everybody that came to me and my wife, we felt like they were more like family. So my wife just really did everything she could to allow me to peck away and build. And especially when we got here, I was always trying to make the worst part of the store the best. Always would pick the worst thing and try to fix it. And she would always have to deal with it. She just had to deal with it, and it was hard. But all in all, even though she had to deal with it, she still backed me. She always backed me when it would come right down to making final decisions. She would always back me up. And I can honestly say that if it wasn't for her, this would not be here. Now, I know that. And I'm not going to run around bragging on my damn self. I'm just a crazy guy that won't quit. But behind every good guy, y'all already know what I'm going to say, so I'm not even going to say that. You already know. And that was her. And she was the one that completed me, helped me to be the person I am, and would actually tell me stuff like, well, that was good, when you know it wasn't, especially when I would play and sing. I started playing and singing for about 35 years ago. And so she was my audience. And then I would say, on our last day together, I didn't know it was going to be our last day. I'm thinking maybe 2 o'clock. I wanted her to have her most favorite thing that she loved, and she loved Sonny's ribs. And so I went and got Sonny's ribs. Me and her, we got ribs for 2, and I told them to make sure you bring center cuts, because this is the rib lady right here. And then on the way home, I have a small car, and it's 2-seaters. And in the center, there's a center console there. And as we're driving along, and we're only a couple miles from the house, she would put her little arm up on that console. Now, we've been married 35 years, right? And I'd put my hand over there and put my hand on top of her hand, and she would move her hand away. I says, okay. I'm thinking, well, I've said something wrong here. Let me think. So I started in on what I was talking to her about. And I says to her, I feel bad because I have so much. And I want more things for you. I want you to have so much. And I says, but when you come in our house, it just looks like it's just all my junk. And I says, how do you feel about that? And she wouldn't say nothing. I said, well, I guess she's sick of me now, you know. So I looked at that arm, and it was back there on the console, right? So I said, now's my chance. So I put my hand back up there. She pulls her hand away. I said, I says, I'm wondering. I feel bad. I want you to have more stuff. Is it because I have so much stuff? And she had her arm back up there again. This time, I pinned her down and wouldn't let her move her arm away. And I looked over right in her eyes. And I said, did I tell you that I loved you today? And she left her hand there. She had no intentions of moving it. And that's when I realized She didn't care how much junk I had. She just loved me. And if I loved her, that's all she cared about. And that was my answer. So I kind of knew that on the way home. And I was thinking, well, I'm telling you, turning over a new leaf. Everything, because I always bought her stuff. I mean, I guess I was just feeling silly. She has everything. She really does. But I was kind of like feeling that way when I was on the back porch working on my brand new fishing pole that I just bought. Thinking, should have bought her something. Well, I did. I got her the ribs, right? So I'm sitting there fooling with that, and I'm 50 feet away. And the door opens, my back door, one of my back doors, and she screams, "Terry," my head. And it was such a scream that I'd never experienced anything like that. It was all I could do to catch her before she hit the ground. And I think I lost her right there. Right there. And best thing ever happened in my life. And she had an aneurysm, and it was very brief, I suppose. I thought about it, but at least I caught her in my arms. I mean, I was always there for her. I was always. 35 years, that was my baby, that was my soulmate, and I loved her. Really loved her. Yeah. So, I'm not going to be doing anything except singing from my heart and my soul, for me, for my baby, if I can. I would love to hold you. I would love to touch you, but I can't believe it. You've gone away. I miss you badly. I miss you madly. My love was taken away. I wish that I could see you, but I can't see you. You've gone away from me, and it can't be anymore. I still love you. I still want you to be part of my soul. And I love the way you loved me. I love the way you held me. Still so far away from home, and I cry 'cause you're gone. I would love to see you, but I can't see you. You've gone away. I still love you. I still want you now and forevermore. And I love the way you kissed me. I love the way you missed me. I love the way we loved each other, each and every day. And I love the way you loved me. I love the way you held me. I miss you and you're gone, and I feel all alone. I will never stop believing that soon enough I'll be leaving. That when our souls unite for eternity, I'll be searching. I will find you in our hearts, in our hearts and soul. And I would love to say I love you. I would love to hold and touch you. I'm coming there to find you and to never, never let you go. I love the way you kissed me. I love the way you missed me. I need you in my heart, and I die 'cause we're apart. Until the day I come and find you, then our souls will be as one. I know you're leaving, and you had to go. There was nothing you could have done, leaving your loved ones in such a way. You had so much more love to give. You'll be remembered for your kindness and the goodness that came from your heart, and all the sweetness and all or stage where I'm playing and I sing and you hear. You have gone from your body to a life far away. You're in the arms of the angels, and may you find some comfort there. You're in the arms of the angels. May you find some comfort there. May you find some comfort there. I'm just a heartbeat away.